You don't even have the tie. Okay.
I don't have the tie. I got rid of a tie years ago and haven't gone back. Okay, everybody, get your popcorn, get ready. We're gonna get going right away. Yeah, that's because we're doing conspiracy theories. Yes. So there is a conspiracy theory at foot, and it's a crypto conspiracy theory. And the changes could affect all of our holdings. Like literally, all the bags that you own could be emptied
The CIA and the NSA invented Bitcoin.
instantaneously. We're going to be talking about some of those other ones, but that's not what I'm going to be talking about here. So, Sid, are you up for this? Okay, let's get going then. All right, so this one we're going to talk about conspiracy theory. It's not one. It's one that you've heard a lot about, and I get a lot of requests for this one, and I talk to a lot of clients about this one as well. And it's a kind of a touchy subject. Quantum computing and what we're facing in the next little while is going to affect all of us. It's going to affect all of our cryptocurrencies. Well, that's what we're going to explore. Nobody knows. That's the whole point. But we're going to explore that. And by the way, oh, it's not up there. Look at that. I was going to tell you about my imager, which is kind of interesting. Like, I should start that out by saying our next meetup will probably not be here. We'll be at the other building. Because it looks like this one is sold. Nothing is for sure yet because, of course, these deals can always fall through. But maybe in the future, we'll be meeting at 401 instead of 201. But either way, we'll still be able to have meetings and continue on and stuff like that. That apparently is me in South Park style.
You didn't sell the popcorn machine, did you?
No, of course not. Never sell a popcorn machine. I'll die with that machine.
The safe?
The safe, we'll see. If they want to buy it, I'll just put another one in there. But you know, I plan on moving the safe, but the shuffleboard's got to go. I got a guy who's going to buy that, but I'm going to try and keep the pool table if I can. But we'll see how the space is, and you know, once
put a piece of plywood over it.
Well, that's what we generally do that, and it works really well. Yeah, years ago, remember we used to use it for when we did food. So, quantum computing and that algorithm that might collapse crypto or not, but there is a real concern here, and it is a potential crypto conspiracy theory, because this thing is like a hot potato that's about to explode. Yeah, I don't know, do potatoes explode? I guess they can explode. Okay, so onward and upward. So quantum computing, the next big thing, and you know that's something that we got to talk about, because you hear a lot about quantum computing if you're in those circles. If not, you may have just heard little stories here and there about it, but overall, quantum computing is the next phase of computing. It's the next iteration where Moore's law, which basically states that every 19 months computing power doubles, will go exponentially higher when quantum computing becomes stable, which we're not really there yet, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But some of the interesting things is, like, quantum computing right now is kind of like Bigfoot. It's like, you know, you hear a lot about it, people talk about it. Some people even say they've seen Bigfoot and quantum computers. But for the practical everyday person, we're really a long ways out from it meaning anything. But that doesn't mean that it's not happening or that it has not already happened in the background. And that's one of the things that we'll talk about. Is everybody familiar with what quantum computing is? Bert, anybody else? Wayne?
No.
Anybody else? Okay, well, traditional computers either have two states. They either have a 0 or a 1, on and off. And what quantum computing does is it creates qubits that are both on and off at the same time. So in other words, it creates an exponential. Now, every time you add 1 qubit, think about the exponential amount of growth when they can be on and off at the same time. So it can change everything. I mean, it can make it so that it can do mathematical calculations that would take traditional computers tens of thousands or millions of years. It can literally do in the matter of minutes. And there are some examples of that out there right now. Like IBM created a quantum processor, but it does like a few hundred qubits at a time. So it's not really at a state where it could affect, you know, crypto or any kind of high-level encryption, because you have to get to millions of qubits before that can happen.
Now, when you say a qubit, are you sort of referencing that to say a bit in a standard processor? So standard 64-bit processor, 64 bits,
yeah.
64-bit buses. qubit is kind of the same?
Same thing, only exponential because it's both on and off at the same time based on quantum technology. But yes, exactly right. That's the same idea. And right now, like they've got, IBM has shown one and Google has shown one as well. But realistically, you know, they're projecting anywhere from about 15 to 20, 25 years before usable quantum computers are small enough that an average person would be able to own one, and maybe, who knows, in the future have cell phones that would be able to do that as well. But so there's some things about this that it poses some interesting questions, and there's some smoke here. I don't know that there's actually a fire yet, but there's certainly some smoke, and there's some theories. So around 2020, the NSA was tagged in a special program. People found out through Freedom of Information Act about a special program that the NSA started. And it was basically called, let me see, Penetrating Hard Targets. I know Norm will love this one. Okay, but that was the actual name. And there was, you know, a lot of money dedicated towards this project, and that was in 2020, which is 5 years ago. Let's remember that when you keep this in mind. And the theory is that they had a quantum computer, and they were kind of trying to crack hard targets like North Korea and, you know, some of the other fascist communist countries and things like that, China, all that. And they're apparently trying to get into those computers. But the thing to remember again, the quantum computer that they were using, it really was a pretty small kind of computer. It only had a couple of qubits. So it's like miles away from breaking modern encryption, even modern standard encryption that banks and ATMs use and stuff like that. It's not even at that level yet. It's not going to get there. But it is something that they've already been experimenting with. So if you think about that, 5 years ago they were doing it. What are they doing now? And that's some of the things that we're going to look at, and we're going to go a little deeper into and think about that. Now, what ends up happening is, of course, because the government actually had this program and there was secrecy, of course, people get excited, and you know, they build it up sometimes to much more than what it is. But the bottom line is they have a department that's investigating this. They have a quantum computer that they're using, and they are trying to hack hard targets with it. So that's all been pretty much proven. Now, you know, there's other things that you could start thinking about this, because if this really is possible, if the government can do this, it's almost limitless what it can do. I mean, ethically, you know, we'd like to think that in North America they wouldn't, you know, they wouldn't invade our privacy, but realistically, with this kind of technology, they could look at your bank accounts, they could look at anything that you own, any crypto that you own. As long as they were to be able to get access to your wallet address, they'd be able to crack it. So there's a lot of implications if they really have this technology. And this is that secret, we call it in this slide, I called it the secret project, the qubit. But we don't know what the real project is. That's the one that they allowed to release, the one that the NSA was working on a very small scale with not huge funding yet. So that one would be one to watch. I mean, realistically, you know, we could look at things that could happen in the future. Like, if quantum computing really becomes real and they can get a quantum chip down small enough to work in your smartphone the way like an iPhone or an Android phone does, where they get to be nanometers in size, theoretically it doesn't need power. So you could have, because it works in the quantum realm, right? So it doesn't require energy. A little tiny little thumb battery would power it for 1 million years kind of thing, because it effectively doesn't use power. So that could end up with things that could be coming up in the future. When you start seeing things like that, when you start seeing devices come out that the consumers can buy, that's when you start to get concerned. But there's stuff that's happening to try and fix that. And yeah, I mean, also, you know, if you look into the future, if you project, like the last Bitcoin will be mined in the year 2140. So maybe in 2138, if they do crack this, they could empty out all of everybody's wallets and completely collapse Bitcoin. But that's a long ways away. None of us will be here, you know, but maybe future generations, it might be something that becomes a thing. Now, there has been some progress towards doing, there's some progress going towards making this better, to make it flow better, and to be able to protect ourselves right now against the quantum threat that's on the horizon, which we think is a pretty far horizon, but we don't really know for sure. So one of the things that we talk about here now is Shor's algorithm. So Shor's algorithm is a mathematical, I guess you call it a mathematical paper that basically lays down the framework for a computer that's powerful enough to be able to break RSA encryption, which most of crypto is based off of, like SHA 256 and a lot of the other encryption in crypto is based off of this encryption. So, and if they can crack this, of course, that will change things dramatically. Google has actually shown some things recently that are, I don't know, has anybody heard about the Google quantum computer that they created? Ironically enough, there's not much information about it. Google's not really out there talking about it too much, and they're not really, making it so that it's publicized or information is readily available on it. You can get it if you look for it, but it's not on the front page and everything.
I think development is kind of slow.
Well, not really. They've actually shown just this last year, they've shown there was a specific calculation to create random numbers, and their quantum computer was able to do this in 3 minutes flat. They said that the same milestone that was demonstrated in that would take a supercomputer, our fastest supercomputer that we have right now, literally thousands of years to accomplish the same task that Google's computer was able to accomplish in 3 minutes. So that's kind of freaky. Now, it's a very specific use case, but it kind of shows you the potential. Like the world's most powerful supercomputer takes thousands of years, this does it in 3 minutes. So that shows you that if we can get to this point where there's larger qubit quantum computers, it's actually going to be a thing where compute power will no longer be a thing. It won't even be, you won't even hear about these huge data centers. It'll be just like in the day, those of us that are old enough remember when a computer was the size of a room, or then it went down to the size of a refrigerator, and then it went down to a desktop, and now of course we have supercomputers in our pockets. And the same thing could happen with quantum computers. But it probably will take about the same amount of timeline, which is about 30 years, give or take.
Can
Right?
I ask a question on that?
Sure.
For somebody who holds forever, not, transacting every single billion
Yeah.
times a second, and you hold it, you're offline, are you safe?
No.
Somebody's in a car with a wireless on your,
No, because it could break the encryption that it's based off of.
Oh,
Right? Now, that's only when and if that happens. Now, being that Bitcoin and other blockchains are blockchains, and which is basically programmable money, they could program into it quantum resistance first off, and then quantum invulnerability, or highly vulnerable. Yeah, I'm getting there. But yeah, you're right. There's people working on it now, but I just thought that was kind of fascinating. That thousands of years for a traditional supercomputer to do it, and their computer does it in 3 minutes. That kind of, holy crap, that's real. Like, that's happened already. That's not theoretical. That's not something that could be. It's already happened. So that kind of makes you think about it a little bit different.
If it's breaking a code such as Bitcoin, it's going to be doing other technologies as well. So
RSA 2048 or 10.
well, yeah, it wouldn't matter the banking system.
Nope, the banking system is gone.
Yeah.
Everything that we traditionally use now doesn't work.
Everything would have to change.
ATMs are based off of 64-bit encryption. That's how old that is. Your average cell phone right now uses 128. So ATMs holding money, 64.
So,
yeah.
Don was saying, even if you're holding forever, it's not the holder who's holding forever, it's the one transaction that gets hacked, then becomes worth nothing.
Exactly, yeah. The value goes down. If the hack happens, the value goes down. And that's where the fear is. And that's FOMO. That's just a different kind of FOMO, but it is FOMO. And I'm going to talk about that just in a couple of minutes here, because that's the biggest fear right now. It's not really so much that our Bitcoin's going to get hacked, or our XRP is going to get hacked, or any of these coins that we're carrying are going to get hacked. That's likely not going to happen for quite some time, if ever, because like I said, the blockchains will change as required to make sure that they're resistant and then foolproof, or as foolproof as you can get in any kind of programmable money, right? But it doesn't mean that it's not something to be concerned about, and it's not something to be thinking about. It just means that, we've probably got a little bit of time. Now this one, NIST, this is this is kind of the good news part of this, is the quantum resistance. And NIS Institute, National Institutes of Standards and Technology, it's a standard institute that's recognized in a lot of countries. And they've already started working on post-quantum cryptography development. And they're setting standards for cryptos and blockchain technology to be quantum resistant, because let's face it, all this developments that's going on with DeFi and all the different things that are happening on the Bitcoin and Ethereum, all the different protocols for loans, and all that would be wiped out overnight if this actually happens. So they're ahead of this, and they're already working on solutions for this. And it's not just the standard that's doing it. There's people that are contributing to it, like Google, IBM, a lot of economic and educational groups are also contributing to helping with this project, because it's really an important project. So there's a lot of resources that are going into solving this problem right now. But again, just like quantum is not really there, they don't really have the solution either. So we're kind of at that crossroads right now where it really could go either way.
The only solution will be open source.
Well, that's a possibility.
Any corporate controlled solutions, they can apply selectively however they want.
Oh, absolutely.
Open source, at least it's available to everyone.
Well, the companies that are, involved in programming for this have a vested interest in keeping privacy. Like, I know arguably a lot of the cell phone companies are semi-private and all that, but some of them are boasting about the privacy and the encryption on their devices, and likely in the future that'll continue to be the case. But so they have a vested interest in keeping our stuff private. They have monetary interest, because if Meta comes out and says, hey, we're quantum resistant now, well, all the others will have to have that same kind of technology. So that's why everybody's working on solving this problem before it becomes a problem. But it doesn't mean that they're going to be successful. This is one of those ones that...
They say they're quantum resistant, but really are they?
Yeah, exactly. You can make any kind of a statement.
Certification statement.
Open source it.
Yes. All right. So this is the one where we get to the point where we start thinking about, okay, well, are the governments sitting on some quantum computers that maybe have higher qubits? Like, do we know this for sure? There's a huge amount of investments going on right now in AI and also quantum technology by the government on very secret sites involved in many of the universities have secret funding under NDAs to do this kind of development, and they've been doing it for quite some time. They've proven and shown success, like what Google showed everyone, is that it happens and we have it. There's other smaller parties that are working on it as well. The one thing that's almost exclusive across the board is all these parties have funding from federal governments. And I don't think that's by chance. I think they need to keep their fingers in, and I think basically the governments want to keep a tab on what's happening in the industry, because let's face it, if they control your keys, they control your coins. And that's the same thing that we always talk about, right? So, and then of course the development in AI. I don't know if anyone's heard about what's happened in some of the developments in AI, like US putting in, I can't remember, the OpenAI initiative with the US government, $500 million investment in OpenAI data centers that are going to be government-funded data centers. Basically, OpenAI is going to be the front runners setting everything up and helping that to happen. But that's real. That's $500 million is going in next year into doing that. So that could change this whole thing. That could accelerate this whole thing, because let's face it, if you have AI working on it, and AI has the ability to work on what it works on and make it better at a much faster rate than humans can, it could potentially increase the development of the quantum computers, and the government could have that secret sauce that they could get into anybody's account. Now, likely won't be using it for the average person, even if they have it already, or even if they're getting it, but it'll be kind of like during the Second World War. The countries that had the best cryptography were able to send messages to their troops without getting them intercepted, and making sure things like D-Day couldn't have happened without cryptography, right? They would have known where they were going to be landing, and they wouldn't have been able to get the boats and all the resources to shore. So cryptography is very, very important, not just for crypto. It's important for the world as a whole, because if we can't keep things private, we can't control anything. We can't control our secrets, we can't control our military, we can't control anything, because it could break into it and do everything. So we we kind of know that probably China doesn't have it. Because I think if China had it, we'd probably be working for them by now, you know, but who knows how far they're away from it. And I think that's when you see some of the restrictions that are going on with the US, where they're restricting chip sales to China. They're only allowing them to have second or third generation chips because they're concerned that if they get the compute power, they can then create the quantum computers that can then create the algorithm that can crack encryption.
They would have stolen it already.
They could. I mean, China has done some things with AIs that others didn't think were possible with much less resources than things like OpenAI. But, you know, there's arguments on both sides of that. So we don't know really how far advanced China is. We know they're way more advanced with robotics than all of North America put together. You know, their robotics is way, way ahead of us, but we tend to be ahead of them in terms of compute power for sure. I mean, most of the compute power is in North America and continues to be expanded out quite a bit, including the Bitcoin compute power for that matter. Most of Bitcoin compute power is now actually located in North America, which is kind of hard to believe that almost all the mining is in North America. If you even ask an AI, most of them were cut off around 2023 or 2024 for their data sets. And if you ask them without going out on the internet, who's the leader in Bitcoin mining and data centers right now, a lot of them will say China. But if you say update through the internet and reassess that question, you'll find out that they'll come back and they'll say, oh, North America, because that's been a change, and that's been a purposeful change that's happened. And that could be leading up to, of course, what we're talking about here. Has anybody heard of any others? Any other kind of quantum theories that have come up that could impact this?
I mean, Bitcoin developers are trying to factor in quantum resistance to the blockchain, to the nodes, and that's something they're working on.
I think that's one of the proposed protocols, one of the updates.
Yeah, they're working on it.
Yeah.
It's
BIP something.
It's being thought of.
Yeah.
And Bitcoin is really, in my opinion, the only one that matters for that.
Yeah.
But everybody else will follow that.
Well, yeah. I mean, for sure, whatever Bitcoin does, everybody else will do. And I mean, there's other potential uses for quantum technology that are really positive. Like, for instance, you know, now that AI has the ability to start analyzing things like data sets for proteins and things like that, that's where we're creating new types of medicines and new types of medications that are going to happen at a much faster rate now. Because as AI is able to improve upon itself, anybody that just wants to get blown away, just go to Google and start looking at what their AI development and what they're working on. Some of the things that they're working on are absolutely incredible.
So far.
Yeah, they're saying. There's
already 50 ways to cure cancer.
Already what?
There's already 50 ways to cure cancer.
Okay. Yeah. I'm saying that.
But it'll never come from a material perspective. It'll never come from the current research perspective. Because you can't, there's so much money to be made in not curing cancer. And having therapies.
Anybody need a chocolate bar? I remembered.
Got an arrow?
I got an arrow. Arrow for you.
Thank you.
Wayne, you want one? Arrow or crispy crisp? Coffee crisp? No, I just give him a coffee crisp for Bert. Oh, it's a high one. You got it. Bert? Which one? Give you an, okay. Coffee crisp or arrow?
Coffee crisp.
Oh, you want coffee crisp? Okay.
Oh man, this guy takes mine.
There you go. Anybody else? Oh, random. All right, random. Dealer's choice. There you go. All right, we're doing good here. Ready? What's a long one? Oh, you missed it. Now you got to find it. Ready? Right at you. Let's see. Anybody else? Want one? No? All right, there you go. All right. See, and I remembered the chocolate bar. Stacy would be so proud.
It's not the same because Stacy's not doing that.
No, I agree with you there. No arguments for me.
I should have made a video of you doing it and sent it to Stacy. See, look, amateur.
Hold on. A sec. Ready? Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
I should have sent a video. Stacy, you got amateurs throwing out chocolate bars. You're not here to do it.
Well, now you're on video. Go ahead.
I know. Stacy, we need somebody, a professional, to throw out chocolate bars to people because this amateur here isn't doing it properly.
Everybody got one, and I still didn't get credit for it. All right. That's it.
Oh, there's a camera there.
Pardon me?
That's the camera in there.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
There's a screen.
You betcha. No.
You to see?
No, but it talks to me. You know,
Does it?
yeah, it talks. It can tell me things. I have access to information. I have access to an AI through my glasses. So, you know, it's always kind of cool.
Your voices?
No, I just got to say, hey Meta, I'm getting older and I hear voices. Should I be concerned?
No, that's just your tax bill. It's due.
With a medical professional for personalized advice and guidance.
If you're hearing voices, I recommend speaking to a medical professional for help and guidance. Hey Meta, it's your voice that I'm hearing though.
I always blame it on GPS or something. I hear voices. GPS.
Still thinks I should talk to a medical professional because I'm having problems with talking to Meta. So, okay, that's all good. Okay, so that gets us to the next slide. And this is kind of something that we touched on already here. Belief beats math. Markets don't wait for quantum. This is the thing. If this really catches on, this could be a buying opportunity. So watch for this one because it's not going to affect Bitcoin. It really won't. But what it's going to do is it's going to create a buying opportunity. Because if we get quantum FOMO, what will happen is people will start selling their bags, the price will drop, and it'll be a great buying opportunity because it won't end up being anything. I mean, most of these people that sell off will just get scared, sell, and then Bitcoin will drop in price. We'll all buy as much as we can afford, and then it'll skyrocket back up to where it was or even higher.
Down to 150,000.
It might, if we're lucky. Yeah, if we're lucky. Or maybe by the time this happens, maybe $1 million. It might go back down to $1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy what you can, it's back down to $1 million. And then you'll go, yeah, I'm a millionaire. But the problem will be is your car will cost you $1 million. So it's
What's your guess by December 31st of this year?
of this year,
Yeah, for Bitcoin. American. I don't know the
339,331.
My prediction that I made last spring, I made a prediction this spring of 2023 that by November 2024, Bitcoin would be 140,000 Canadian. I was right.
You're right.
So my prediction for this year is 400,000 Canadian.
Oh, we're pretty close.
By November.
We're pretty close. So yeah, 330 American. That's what I said. So you just copied mine.
400.
By November.
It's all math. You can figure it out if you know it.
I don't think that hard. I just it's intuition.
So basically what we're saying is that the quantum hype affects the price more than the actual quantum reality will. Right now we're at about 90% hype and 10% reality. Now that might change. It could change anytime. We don't know. But that's something that we can keep track of because we're going to see it in the real world. It's going to be happening. We're going to see quantum computers start talking about it more. It'll be, oh, the first quantum computer just beat the Deep Blue 6 in Go or something like that. Will be the same way you started hearing about AI, where it started beating humans. Well, you'll start hearing now about quantum computers beating standard computers. When you start hearing that, that's where you want to be careful. You may want to sell all your bags out for that paper stuff or plastic stuff if you're Canadian. But I don't think I would. Yeah, when people hear that though, when they hear quantum computers might break Bitcoin, some people freak out about that. Like, all joking aside, I've had lots of people come to me and ask about this that were really, really worried about it and really, really concerned. So it's not like we don't have to worry about it. We do have to worry about the FOMO. So, if you get caught in that whole thing, you end up selling your bags, you better make sure that you're ready to buy them back real quick, because odds are it'll go back to where it was or even higher, like it has since we got involved in this in 2013. I mean, we've seen this so many cycles, it's not even funny anymore, and the same thing will keep happening. It just won't happen as drastically as it has in the past. And we kind of saw this, like, you remember each halving is almost like a rite of passage now for the crypto people. How many halvings have you been through, right? Because when Wayne and I were just talking about this today, like when we first started getting involved in Bitcoin, every single block was 25 Bitcoin. It's 3 1/8 now. Like, that's a big change in a very short space of time. So now if you think about that and you start just thinking about it logically without taking out your calculator, you think, okay, well, the last one's not done till the year 2140. There's only, a couple million left at the most, eh? Million? So there's 1 million left. That's not a lot. The price has to go up exponentially very, very quickly.
30% is lost.
Yeah, and up to 30% lost, yeah. That's right, up to 30% loss.
That's over $1 million.
Well, we don't know that.
You don't know this, that's not Satoshi's coin.
Yeah. No, those ones that got moved weren't Satoshi's. That's Genesis block.
Yeah.
Satoshi's coin, if you ever hear the Genesis block moves,
Yeah.
then you'll know that,
It wasn't Satoshi's coins.
no.
It was an old wallet.
Yeah, it was like around the first. Sean probably had coins during those days. I mean, we know some people that were involved when it shortly after it came out.
I heard about it. I thought about getting my laptop to just run overnight and mine.
I was doing it.
At the time, I never did.
I had a gaming laptop and I was doing it. I was getting Bitcoins. And I talked to Wayne about it. He doesn't even remember it was so long ago, but but I was doing it with my laptop. But at that time, the laptop was really expensive and I was worried about it. So I just thought, no, it wasn't much. And well, you know, Don, you had a lot of experience with early Bitcoin. I mean, we didn't think much of it.
On the whole earth.
No, we didn't. The thing is, all fairness though, we didn't think much about it in those days. It was just a means to an end, right? It was like,
My buddy Santa Lucia, Greg, you probably know Greg.
yeah, do ya?
Yeah, he had that first machine.
That was that machine.
Oh, no way.
That's that machine,
So
yeah.
we all went there, had a wings special that night.
Yeah.
All these smart people, and I was not one of them. So I was so happy to be talking to all of them.
Yeah.
And they were saying, yeah, buy Bitcoin. Oh, well, are you sure? And I watched it for a month, every day, watched it.
Well, when you were doing the satellites,
Up and down.
when you were doing the satellites, you bought a bunch of it just for buying subscriptions and stuff like
That's all
that.
the Chinese would take.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
saying great.
They were smart. Now, if you just kept those and didn't do the whole business, you'd have been done. You would have probably owned part of Winnipeg by now.
There's a Reddit thread I read where guys talked about how they spent hundreds of Bitcoin on drugs over the
Oh yeah, no kidding. Well, Wayne used to give.
That's why
Wayne used to
Greg got
give.
out of it.
Wayne used to give what?
Drug dealers come.
$10
Yeah.
worth of Bitcoin,
$5, $10.
$5-10 worth of Bitcoin to anybody who came out to the meetups or people you met in the streets, all that kind of stuff. I hate to think how much you gave away. But you know, it was like $5 or $10. It's like giving someone a tip, right? Except for he never kept the private seed he never kept the ability to take it back. And it's all gone, and probably most of those people never used it and never even thought anything of it. And it's unfortunate.
Several $1,000s in some of them, like
Yeah.
$5 to a waitress.
It's like $1,000 now.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Well, even our beer fridge. I mean,
Oh,
we
yeah.
checked the transactions. One beer now, I think, was equivalent like 150 or $200 a beer, something like that. It's like just ridiculous, you know. But you know, we didn't know, and we didn't know that it would be this valuable. Or you know, if anybody who had that kind of foresight would have, of course, just bought a bunch of Bitcoin and retired for like 5 years, and then, you know, bought an island somewhere and been done.
You know why that was? You know why everyone thought that it will never do all that? Because the
Government would shut it down.
Yeah,
Yep.
everyone you talk to, it's a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, it's a Ponzi scheme.
It's
Yep.
All the electricity, man.
I'm still hearing it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
all the
Crazy snake out there.
We're still hearing that. Yeah, we're still hearing it. Yeah, it's been an interesting ride, but we're still hearing the same stories even now. People are still saying to me now, "Well, do you think it's going to be around?" It's like, oh my God, like, you know, it's worth $3 trillion. I don't think it's going anywhere.
3.9.
Fifth on the market cap. It's ahead of Amazon now. So everybody uses Amazon every single day almost to buy things. And here, Bitcoin is more valuable than Amazon. Let that one sink in. I mean, like, holy crap. If that doesn't tell you it's going to be here for a while, I don't know what will. I mean, things that are that...
Amazon's a Ponzi scheme.
That's right. Amazon's a Ponzi scheme. Well, they kind of are. The amount of money that they take off of me, it shouldn't be allowed. My wife should not have access to Prime. This is like...
We pass them on the way here.
The woman who married Jeff Bezos
Oh.
could have held off for somebody else.
Yeah. Well, I think she did pretty good. But I'll guarantee you she has a prenuptial agreement.
Yeah.
Because he made that mistake once. He's not going to do that again. She's the wealthiest, one of the wealthiest women in the world. Her and Bill Gates' wife are two of the wealthiest women in the world.
And it's ironic how the wealthiest women in the world get their wealth through divorce.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, it's true though. Yeah. But well, I think in her case with Amazon, it's actually more than that. She really did start out with him. She was like on the boots on the ground, like working her ass off the whole 9 yards. She didn't just marry in. You know, she was.
like a cool chick.
Yeah. She's an interesting
Is the
lady.
Rodrigo guy gone?
The who?
Did he die?
Who?
Rodrigo guy.
Oh, well, that's how the story goes. There are no bones. They cremated him, so Who knows? Yeah, and you're not allowed to burn people in India, but he got burned. So, I don't know.
They burn themselves all the time.
Yeah, immolation.
Well, it's not just the shores of the Ganges, they build pyres and they burn people.
Yeah, I can see it.
The widows. If the husband dies, then the widow would, they used to do, they would burn the widows. Then the English could have stopped that.
No, but they burn the corpses.
Yeah, well, it's been going on for a long time. So, quantum FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt on a quantum level. I mean, really, let's watch for that one. And if something does change, you know, be ready for it. Be ready for the deal that we can get on it. So, quantum computing, not a game, does have massive potential. We're years away from it really mattering in terms of the crypto world, but it doesn't mean that we don't have to watch it and we don't have to keep on top of it. It just means that odds are we're not going to be able to do anything about it. It's going to happen. Odds are it's going to be solved before it affects us. But you should be aware of these kind of things. It should be something that if you have a substantial holding or even a small holding of crypto and there's a chance that you could lose it for no reason, you want to keep track of it.
It sounds like this presentation has been one giant clickbait.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, the world's coming to an end. Oh, don't worry, maybe next lifetime. Oh, you got us.
Gotcha, exactly, man.
Throw an extra bar.
But you know what? If you, I encourage you to just put that search term into YouTube. Quantum computing and Bitcoin.
Okay.
And watch, and you want to see conspiracy theories. Oh my God. You know, if you listen to some of these videos, you think your coins are already gone. I mean, really, the way that they make it sound. It's not true, but of course, now that would be the clickbait. I'm not doing that.
Google's search, you know, it's biased, okay? But they want to
Of
put
course.
all that info out just to get the people. Ooh.
Of course, get people freaked out, yeah.
I posted a link a couple times now in the CryptoNutz Telegram group, a link for the Bitcoin Matrix podcast.
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
Really interesting guests on. One of them was talking about the quantum resistance of Bitcoin and quantum computing related to Bitcoin.
Right
He
on.
had really interesting guests.
Oh,
Keep
cool.
an eye on that podcast.
Well, for sure. I'll post that.
Bitcoin Matrix.
I'll post the link in the video, for sure.
I posted it twice. If you look up what I
And
posted,
yeah, I saw it.
You'll see it at least twice.
Yeah, I did see it. Okay, so bottom line is we need to focus on other things related to crypto that are more current, that are more important. And most of those things are, you know, we want to keep track of what's going to happen with the quantum resistance, and we want to make sure that it gets implemented at some point. But there's basic stuff like security, you know, network security. More is lost from network security and social hacking than ever we're going to lose from quantum. And, you know, keeping track of your seeds, basically having, you know, plans in place that if there's something that happens to you that your coins won't get lost forever, because a lot of people miss that simple little task. And, you know, a lot of these coins go and it could go to a family member or someone that you care about, and you know, you die and it's gone and it doesn't matter. It's all gone into the crypto gods. Which reminds me, Michael Saylor has basically said that when he dies, all of his Bitcoin is going to go to the Bitcoin gods. So, you know, you could always take that approach.
That just pisses me off. We'll talk about that later.
Well, but that does kind of piss me off too, because why not give it to charity, or why not give it to, you know, third world country that you could feed people, or
Why even bother collecting it now? Why bother?
well, especially when you're a
You're
multi-billionaire.
always missing out on.
I don't think he's missing out on anything. Not when you're that rich.
True, we should go back to the foundation of crypto.
Yeah.
Where he got it from.
Well, that's, yeah, he
I
is
feel a lot more like he's supporting the whole crypto.
the ecosystem, yeah.
But it's always better to be pissed off than pissed on.
Yeah. So, do we have any questions? Any questions about quantum computing?
Well, he was saying it's clickbait, but does it worry you at all?
It's something that I keep track of. So in the sense of that, yeah, it does worry me. I want to make sure that there are things in place that are happening. You know, that it's not just, people aren't just burying their heads in the sand and pretending like it's not going to be something. So if I was doing an evaluation on a project and they said that they have quantum resistance built in, which I don't know if anyone can correct me on this one, but I'm pretty sure Cardano has built some quantum resistance into it. And I think that was one of his one of his rewrites that he did. Did you hear about that one? No, I'm not 100% sure on that, but there are many projects that are like that. So it would factor into my decision if I was evaluating a crypto as a potential investment. I'd want to see some sort of at least acknowledgement about crypto and a roadmap to how they're going to get quantum resistant and how quickly that's going to happen based on what's going to happen in the ecosystem.
That kind of begs another question. Is there any chance you could make up for the next meeting a to-do list for us regulars? Because it's so easy to get just distracted with so many things, and then you don't pay attention to this or don't pay attention to that. And maybe the top 5 things that we should be kind of regularly just
keeping up with. Yeah, I've been talking to a few people about that. There's some things that everybody should really do. Like if you have a hardware wallet, you should plug it in every few months or so, update the firmware, make sure everything's good with it, make sure you still remember how to use it, make sure your word seed is okay, and like you can do that little check right within most of the hardware wallet software where you can check your word seed. And that's something that everybody should do from time to time. For sure should update your firmware, just to keep it up to date.
How about the status of hot wallets? Hot wallets, it used to be good some years ago, now that aren't.
Well, hot wallets are all a cesspool.
I'm weird about my Trust wallet now.
Yeah, I don't put much on my Trust wallet. I use it kind of like a little interim thing once in a while here and there, but I would not trust any hot wallet anymore because nasty things are happening, and not even necessarily about losing coins, although I have heard lots of horror stories about that, but more so what they're doing is they're just charging outrageous fees. Wayne and I have both experienced this on many platforms where it looks good, the price you're buying the crypto at looks great, and then you go to get it off and they're charging on the back end, they're not charging on the front end. So it looks like you're getting a good buy on your crypto. The time comes to actually get it off there, and they just charge outrageous amounts. I was working with a lady the other day trying to teach her how to, do some trades within her Ledger Nano, and sure enough, she had a token that was worth about $260, and she went to go convert it to Bitcoin, and it said not enough funds available.
Oh, wow.
So the fee was more than what she actually had in the wallet. It was about $260 US.
Holy crap.
So this is where people get trapped. And this is another question that I get, and that's a very good idea, by the way. And post that in the Telegram channel, and I will definitely do that. I'll probably forget, but if you post it in the Telegram channel, I'll remember. And it's actually a very good idea because there's certain best practices that we should all be involved with and all be doing, and updating our security and making sure things like.
Is Gold Card any good?
Pardon me?
Gold Card any good?
Well, I think it's based off of Trezor, right? It's open source. So I think it's good. I mean, you'd have to see what they're doing. I've got one. I've never even turned it on.
Okay.
So, but
Calculator.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, I have another one that's a wallet somewhere. I don't even know what I did with that one. Little credit card, right?
I have a few.
Yeah. Do you like it?
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Okay. So I mean, any hardware wallet's good. The things I would look for in hardware wallets, and again, software wallets, I don't even recommend them. You won't even hear me talking about them anymore, just because you're taking big chances. I've heard of more and more people getting hacked on systems like Exodus. Not necessarily the platform itself, but through social engineering and social hacking, they're losing their funds, and sometimes significant amounts of funds. Anytime you're interacting with the internet and you're in the Wild West, man. I mean, if you're not running through a VPN and you're not, keeping yourself as encrypted as you possibly can in all your transactions, you're really taking big risks. So a lot of these ones where they let you do all this stuff, like MetaMask, I can't even tell you how many people I know that have lost a fortune trying to use MetaMask to do exchanges. I had one client that was talking to me and saying, can you tell me what's wrong with my wallet? And I said, well, what do you mean? He says, well, I had $1,100 in there and I looked and it's gone and I didn't do anything. And so, we sat down and we looked at it and I said, well, what did you do? Explain to me what you did. And then I looked at his history and he was going and trying to do exchanges. And every time he went to go and try and do the exchange, the fees were like these crazy, outrageous fees, like $200-300. And he did it over and over and over again. So he ended up getting next to nothing exchanged. I think it was just a few dollars, and all of his funds were gone in fees. And that's what a lot of these, especially you got to really watch some of the decentralized platforms. There are some good ones, but there are some pretty shady ones out there. Some of them will And another big trick right now on any of these exchanges that are online where they exchange one to another, one of the things you have to watch that they're all pulling off right now is they're saying, oh yeah, no problem, send whatever you want to me, we'll exchange it. What do you want? You want to send ETH? I'll give you back Bitcoin, no problem. You go ahead and you do it. And then you hit that one transaction where they say, oh, you need to KYC now to get your funds. So whatever you sent to them now, you have to KYC with them. And you'd think, well, okay, I'm not trying to hide anything. What do I care? I'll KYC with them. And every time you try and do what they ask you to do, it doesn't work. And it never works because it's designed not to work. So now they've got your funds. They'll never send it to you because you can't fulfill their requirements. And so it's just like another scam, right? And that's, unfortunately, it's happening a lot. Like I hear it all the time where people are doing this and they're getting ripped off and they're getting a lot of their funds are lost in this kind of a way, right? So watch these ones where you're exchanging from one to another. Odds are it's not going to be a good deal. Even if it's through your
coins or tokens?
Yes, even if it's done through your Trezor or your Ledger, because they allow that kind of swapping to happen, you really got to be conscious of how much it's costing you to do this stuff. Because you're much better at that point to set up an actual exchange account with a large provider and do your own trading. It's a little more complicated, a little more difficult, but at least you won't get raped over the coals. I mean, it's, you know, you can lose more of your funds. This is one of the ones where these people come up with this strategy where I'm gonna wait. And then when Bitcoin goes super high, I'm gonna sell it all. And when it goes super low, I'm gonna buy it all back. And you know, you hear this time and time again. What ends up happening is first they don't time it right. And then if they do time it right, they go through one of these decentralized exchanges or one of these less popular exchanges, and the fees end up being so much they never ever get back as much as what they sold in the first place, because the fees eat up a big chunk of whatever their bags are, and it's all relative. Handy made country. Okay. All right. So that's about all I got on quantum. And although, yes, it's a little bit of a clickbait, but in the same token, it's something we gotta think about. It's something that we gotta be conscious of, and it's something that we've gotta watch for changes. And projects that you want to invest in, you want to make sure that you look and see that they have some sort of a quantum roadmap, and that it's you know, they've thought about the future. They're not just gonna, you know, go along and hope that everything will be okay, because odds are when you do that, it generally is not okay. And that's about all I got for you tonight. Thanks a lot, everybody. Woo! Okay. Now I can take my hat off. I'm getting hot. Holy shit. Yeah, for sure. Bitcoin, and Bitcoin.